All right, guys, what is going on? We are live. Welcome back to the Unconventional Mindset. My name's Odum. Welcome to the stream, which we do every Monday through Friday as we try to figure out just how the hell we're going to build ourselves a company which is going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. Last year we made 100K. This year we were hoping for 250K, but we did a whole lot of R&D this year, so we haven't really doing anything to try to get clients. So that number has dipped. But we're going to turn it back around in 2025. And get going to getting ourselves on the path to 250K. So welcome back. Welcome to the stream. As I said, my name's Odum. Did I say that already? I don't know. Anyways, so we're going to jump in where we left off yesterday. And please do let me know if you have any issues with the audio. I'm still trying to play around with this audio and try to get things all set up and working correctly with this new audio board that I have here. So yeah, we're going to start off or take off. Or we're going to start off where we took off yesterday. I don't even know what I'm saying here. But we're going to continue on with doing our competitive analysis. And we're just basically gonna go from there. Kevin, howdy. Welcome to the stream. And I just remembered here. Where's my face? I hid myself. There we go. There's my face. Kevin, so how's it going, man? Hope you're doing well. I've been thinking a lot about Kevin again, like Notion and everything, and kind of thinking about how I might want to use it or get kind of, just incorporate into the work that I'm doing. And I think maybe to start, just to kind of ease myself into it, is probably maybe start to jot down a few of the things that I do here, like kind of company, just like a wiki, I guess, basically. Because there's things that are written down in Asana, but it doesn't really make sense to write them in Asana because they're kind of like tasks. But having something that makes more sense, I think, that is a wiki that can be manageable and just easier to edit and just kind of flows nicely, I think that would make the most sense. So maybe I'm going to try to do that. But of course, I'm going to keep going away, keep going here with this kind of database structure as well too, which I think is really kind of cool. So anyways, I'm really liking it. So I'm not going to say I'm 100% sold yet, but I'm pretty close to being there. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to use it in one way or the other here in the business going forward. So yeah, one thing I came across yesterday, I'm just going to put this out here right now. Actually, I came across, not yesterday, it was just this morning. And it was this video that popped up in my feed. I don't know if it was after I was watching that, how to book, like how I book 3 leads a day or something like that. So a few other things kind of came up in terms of how to do your videos. And I came across this guy. Never heard of this guy before, but just subscribe to him because this is a great video, like how to become a master storyteller. And this is the big thing that I've been thinking about is what to do to get people to like click in and get them into your sales funnel. Because I'm really kind of thinking about that in terms of, number one, how I could differentiate myself from the competition, which is I put down what's the goal of why I want to do this competitive analysis, right? It's to differentiate myself from others. But then of course it's, from there, it's how can I, get leads and get more money from that. And it's just really clean how it's like, okay, well, you want to be a master storyteller because you want to do good videos that succeed. So it's like, here's my free blueprint, whatever. And you just click on it and then it gets you to this guy. And this one is so much more cleaner than all these other sales pages, which it just gives me just not good vibes when they're that really cheesy 1990s kind of design. But it's like 5 days to consistent viral short form video, just example. And it's like it's super clean. Maybe there should be even more. Like maybe this guy needs to have maybe more testimonials or whatever. But it's super clean, not selling anything. Just send me the first day and you get 5 days of emails, and then that's how he gets you into his funnel or whatever. So super clean, super nice. I just thought I'd throw that in there. I have no idea, what I could do from this or what I could take away from it, but I just thought it was just really clean and really, what I really liked is what I've been kind of struggling with is how can I get so direct and to the point where it's super clear what it is I do, right? And what it is that I could offer for people. So just kind of thinking about that. And one of the things that I'm always keeping in the back of my mind here, especially as we're doing kind of a competitive analysis and all the different things that all the competition could do and see, what I can do to, differentiate myself. Okay. So I have a few tabs that are still open from companies that I've researched yesterday or 2 days ago or whatever. And we'll probably do this again too, in terms of seeing just how many more there are. Cause I have like 5 or 8 tabs, and I'm sure there's way more that do it than just these guys. Okay, so now we're gonna go, and maybe we can split screen this here. Yeah, the other thing I was working on this morning too is just trying to look at my camera angles and seeing how I could film this podcast and how it's going to look, and seeing what kind of decoration stuff I need. So I was working, really trying to kind of get the studio kind of all set up and figuring out what I need to do. First thing is getting the camera angles set up, and then get the lighting all set up, and then we could figure out how we're going to like actually decorate the room. So anyways, let's bring this out here and let's hide this so we have a little bit more space. Okay. So, right. So we want to do another person. Oh, is it a new page, or is it click to add below? Oh no, I think we just start typing in here. So this is Creative Curve. We can enter. Let's open this up here. Let's get their website. Rolando's not here. Rolando, if you're here, it can help you if you have all the like number of index pages and all that kind of stuff. That'd be fantastic. Okay. So services offered, graphic design, web design, print services, helping hand. Not sure what that is. Website design services. I feel like they're definitely probably more into graphic and print, I would imagine, just from, looking at this. So let's look at, what do we do? Services. So graphic design. I don't even have this like print services. Let's put that in there. And of course, web design. And frequently asked questions. Rolando, welcome. There you are, brother. How you doing today? Good to see you, as always. So you're alive from yesterday, so I guess you didn't get smacked too hard, which is good. All right. What's this helping hand here? I'm just curious. Community support to aid nonprofit organizations. Okay. Okay, that's a lot of writing, a lot of text to read. Application deadline is almost at the B. Okay, this is old. Okay. Oh no. Okay, interesting. Brant, welcome. This comment went through, but I guess your original one didn't, because this is the first one that I've seen. But welcome, good to see you. Okay, anyways, let's go here. Let's see. Great, yeah, great start. Yeah, I don't know if you're being sarcastic about, great start to the comment section, but anyways, that's all right. You can't share some secret sauce. Yeah, I would really, obviously I'd love to know what it is that you're actually typing in to see what the hell is, like why it's getting blocked. It's really annoying. All right, consider as a creative design department. Graphic design, okay. On time and on budget. 23rd. So they've been in a business for at least 9 years. Graphic, web design. Okay. Monday to Friday. So Halifax Chamber of Commerce, which we need to get into. No, I actually didn't hit you. You finished preparing the food. Well, that's good. That's good. It's always good to avoid smacks whenever possible. Okay, graphic design. Looks like maybe logo. They're going to do logo stuff. We'll throw that in here. Logo, and then just print, like menus, contact form. I imagine most people aren't going to show pricing. Social media affordable pricing. What does that mean? I guess they'll perfect payment plan. Okay, well, why invest? Okay. Sample of work. Triple V, concrete, just sports. Yeah, Yeah, bookkeeping. Basically, I'll say client list. Just I'm just going to put in general service-based businesses. Service-based businesses. So I see now, question mark, and then guess not. That's all I see. So I guess nothing else is coming through. That's brutal. Is there anything like that like you want to link to or show me? I'll bring up Discord again. So yeah, I give up. If there's anything that's really cool, just if you don't mind, because I'd love to see what you have to say or what you want to show me. If you can throw it in Discord, then I could see it at least in there. It's just a message, but a gem. Yeah, well, that's too bad. It can't be that much of a gem if YouTube is censoring. Because if we all know about YouTube, they definitely censor on our own behalf, right? They know what's best for us. Oh, geez. It's a gem we'll send. All right. Yeah. If I see it, then I'll, post it up or something. All right. So, right. Yeah. Just general service-based business and then the contact form. Okay. I don't know if there's anything else I can glean from this. Let's go into Google Maps here. Updating Discord. Cool. I have it open here, so we'll have a look here. So let's go with Creative Curve Media Group. Okay. So Google rating is a 5.0 with number of Google ratings 31. So if we can just, how do we read the reviews? I'll just go down here, I guess. I worked on various printing projects. And love a new logo, okay. Yeah, printing a pop-up banner. Yeah, I definitely feel like they're more of a print shop. Yeah. First design my webpage, now user printing and laminates to produce the, okay, yeah. Be careful with the rabbit hole, which you often get into with analysis paralysis. You already have 3 or 4 agencies analyzed. Now start working on your business plan. Well, I think I hear you. But I don't know. I guess like the way that I was thinking about this is not like I'm trying to glean great information that I'm going to, unlock anything special here. Like I don't think so at all. But I just wanted to just kind of see who's around with the initial searches and just, I don't know. Like I said, just thinking about if I can just close this down here, just to understand and see who's out there and see if there's any kind of gaps. But yeah, like what people are, like what I'm going to find here, I don't think it's going to, it's going to like affect, what it is that I'm going to do. Yeah. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just go through them faster and just kind of, again, just even if I have a list, because I think there's things I wrote too, there could be some collaboration opportunities. And one thing that I think would be really good is potential business partners. Because I know for a fact that I was close to getting into contact with somebody that had a web design company and they're going to shut down their shop. And I was like, I'll just buy them out. So if there's a company that I can see that might be like that, if their website is out of date and seeing if they have how many clients or whatever, then it could be something that I could look into saying, hey, do you already have a list of clients? And if I could buy that business and bring it into Pixel, that would be a great start because it's almost like buying like 10 clients or whatever. And then I could just take their websites, bring them into Webflow, whatever the case may be, and then have that recurring revenue. So I think it doesn't hurt to do, another hour of due diligence to just kind of look at seeing what's going on and what's out there. and also potentially look for people to be on the podcast and potential to bring people onto the live stream as well too. If they have anything that's really kind of cool too. If I think that, they have good skills or whatever. So yeah, we'll spend it. Yeah, we're definitely not going to go down any rabbit hole or get paralyzed by analysis. Just started this yesterday and then on the stream, and then now we're just going to do it today for like another hour or so. So we're not going to spend too much time on this for sure. Okay, right. So Newfoundland marketing. All of that being said, let's create a new one here. But I mean, I really do appreciate the constant, reminders of staying on point and staying on target. Because I do tend to, think too much and not just do. Okay. All right. What do these guys do? Oh, digital lead generation. So these are guys more, okay. These guys, they do web stuff as well too, but definitely more from what it looks like SEO kind of stuff, Google ads and everything. Okay. So let's just have a quick look here at the services. I think I could hover and still type this out. Yeah. So SEO, social media management, just like paid ads. Then also web design. And these guys are like WordPress guys. And we'll say, website maintenance. And web technologies here is going to be WordPress. So it would be really cool to see. Let's see just our team. Okay, they have a big enough team. So general observations. 8 people on staff on team page. Yeah, they do lots of different. Yeah, lots of different industries. Again, that's the thing too, in terms of how to differentiate myself. One of the things that I've noticed so far of all of these different agencies that we've seen, they all kind of just do generic clients, right? Like it's basically like whoever comes into the door that needs a website, they get a website, right? So if I want to think of how I could differentiate myself, do I go with, some type of niche, right? And then that could take us way back to what we were talking about quite a few months ago of just, doing the science-based, researcher-based kind of thing, as an example, right? Leo, welcome to the stream. How's it going? How you doing today? Hope all is well. All right. Rolando, I see that yesterday. Oh, was that yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday that you joined Discord. Cool, right on. Good to have you here. OMG, Creative Curve has the entire page with schemas and super well indexed by service and location. It's been a long time since I saw such interesting work in SEO. And that's probably why they come up pretty high if you type in like Halifax web design. I would love, because you're obviously, not in Canada. I wonder if you can type in Halifax web design, see what ranking they come in, because that's probably pretty high. I would imagine anyways. I mean, I could be wrong, but if they're doing really good work, as you're saying, in SEO, then that's good. Good for them. Maybe it's something to take a look at what they do. And let me make a quick note here on Creative Curve. Open. So general observations. So let's say very well done schemas on each page by service and location. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Resources. They don't have a blog. They do have resources. So I can't see how long they've been in business for, but these guys are also in Newfoundland as well too. Okay, so which is another province. So let's just see if we can find this here. Oh yeah, we can. All right. So, all right. Oh, these guys here. Number of Google ratings, 24, and their average rating is 4.8. Yeah, which it does show 4.8. So it doesn't show the decimal if it's just like a 5 or whatever. So what's this 1 star? I'm always interested to see what the 1 star is, just because it's probably some disgruntled person. Went into Newfoundland Marketing December 3rd to get a price on a webpage. The woman there asked me about the webpage and what it was all about. She then gave me her card and said that she does not do prices. That person is not in. Okay. I went home, typed it out that day. 2 weeks of no replies. Disappointed because I liked the webpage. No, unfortunately. So these guys should have responded back to this Google review and said, I'm sorry about the missed opportunity, or that, you know, we missed your email. Maybe it came into spam. Like, you never know, right? I mean, that's not like it's the person's fault, because you should always, as a business owner, probably just check your spam mail and just kind of respond back and say, like, we would appreciate, really, you know, really love to make it up to you. Please come in, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, whatever. And that could help turn them into, you know, a positive experience from a negative one, and then maybe get another good customer from there. So yeah, so they're responding to the good ones, but not responding to the bad one. So that's interesting. So anywho, all right, let's move on. Digital Nova Scotia. Yeah, this isn't an actual business that does web design or anything like that. So we're going to get out of that. So I just sent you a screenshot. Sweet. Is it on Discord or is it in email? Email. Okay, let's see. I guess I wonder if I used like a VPN and then like installed a whole new browser. I still feel like Google can get around the VPNs. Anyways, I see the image here. Let me save the image. Let's put in the downloads. Okay, so we got, this is Halifax web design. And that's, I don't know if that's the term that I per se want to search for, but I think it kind of makes sense if someone doesn't know anybody at all. So we got Hop Creative, Creative Curve, Burke and Burke. Never heard of them. Newfoundland Marketing. Okay. Halifax.co.uk. So this is probably not for us, because this is a British company, which is kind of funny, which is the fourth one. I guess there's a Halifax in other places, not just, not just here in Canada. That's interesting. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for that. Let's see what we can see on this one here. burkedesign.ca. I don't think I've seen these guys. Yeah, okay. We'll take a look at them in a second. All right. So what is this company here? This is Solve Smart? Not sure what the actual name is, but let's do it. Okay. Let's open this one. Web design company based in Halifax. Okay. Maintenance, branding. These guys look more like designers. Really kind of focused on the design and the aesthetics. Solve Smart. Okay. So design oriented. Yeah, design oriented. Close that screen so I can see here. So web design, we got logo design and branding. We'll just put branding, SEO, our vibe, project estimate. Again, nothing with pricing. So now they have a little bit of, so they have a budget estimation, thing here on, I don't know, this should only be select one, not multiple. But anyways, so under 10K. So it's hard to say what that means for their pricing in terms of what their range is. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. All right, I just sent you another email. Okay, cool. I'll check it in a second. Questions. Do you want me to ask questions? You're free to ask any questions. Yeah, of course you are. You could do whatever you want, man. You could yell at me. You could shower me with praises. Like either or. Ask me questions. Absolutely. Whatever makes sense. Okay. And book consultation. Does that take me to, where does that take me to? That's not good. But you'd want something like this. Okay. And then contact is just the contact page. Okay, interesting. Services again. Branding, logo, maintenance. And there's no browse your packages. There's just book the consultant. Okay. All right. On the right panel, if you hit the double arrows above the page title, it'll expand to full view. Oh, nice. Is there a way to jump, Kevin, like once you jump, what the hell just happened? So I was in here. Yeah, that's this to open. Can I navigate up and down like the database rows? So this is on Solve Smart. Can I go up to the next one? Is there a shortcut key for that? Like Alt up or something? Alt down, which is not working. That's just making the font smaller. That would be cool if we could. And why did, like control up? Yeah, I'm not sure, but this is cool anyways. Okay. I wonder if I could make this row a little bit bigger. That would be kind of cool too. So they're hiring. So it looks like, it's hard to tell whether this is legit or not in the sense of, there's no dates ranges on this, so who knows if it's accurate or not. But let's see, PHP, Python, Ruby design. Okay, so that's for the Flutter Webflow expert. Interesting. So they want a Webflow expert. Hey, maybe I should apply. Well, it's funny though, Webflow expert, but they're asking for, I guess that's additional. Proficiency, strong problem, ability to work independently. Yeah, okay, so I'm not sure. Design oriented. Definitely we're gonna put in Webflow on here. Years in business, unknown, kind of unknown. Yeah, everything's kind of unknown here. So let's just throw this in. Sorry, Leo, I'll just get to your question here in a sec. Okay. Open 24 hours. They're on. Oh, look, they're in the middle of the water. Cool. So this, I feel, a year ago. Okay, Sean and his team. So probably a smaller business, I would imagine. Maybe we'll put design-oriented, solo/small team. Google rating 5, but 2 reviews. Okay. Let's move on. So Leo, what decisions have you made for Pixel were influenced by audience on YouTube. Okay, what decisions that I made for Pixel were influenced by your audience on Pixel? So, I mean, obviously at the end of the day, all the decisions that I've made were based on what I think is going to be best for me to do in my company and in my business, based on my skills and, you know, my experience and the things that I'm actually passionate about. But there's definitely some things that people have said that have kind of helped me steer me into the right direction. And yeah, so it's not as if one person said one thing and that completely changed the entire trajectory of everything that I'm doing, because that's such a small sample set to be able to judge or to be, you know what I mean? Like if one person says something, it's like, that's not the gospel thing, right? Especially because not everyone has all the information, you know, that I have or whatever, you know, in terms of like what I'm doing and what I'm thinking. So I would say that there's some influence in, you know, one of the reasons why I'm doing this live stream is to get feedback from people, which I think is helpful. And then it just kind of helps guide me in the process. So yeah, so there's influence, but you know, like, you know, 10% maybe I would say. It's hard to even quantify that with an actual number. You know, but it's one thing too that I'm learning as well is that at the end of the day, you have to make decisions based on you and your experience and what you think is right, and kind of going with your gut. Because, you know, at the end of the day, you know what's good for you. So what makes sense for you, you should kind of stick to it. Definitely take people's advice and opinions and see if you can learn from smarter people and people that have been there before. And that's the key too, is people that have been there before and know what it's like, you know, to build $1 million business or whatever it is that you're doing. That makes, you know, you can maybe weigh their opinions a little bit more than you can others. But yeah, you have to make decisions based on you and make sure that you're staying true to yourself. Because I find where I've made some decisions and I'm focusing on other things that I'm like, that's not me. That's not what I want to do or what have you. And then that's when I'm not doing things that are like true to me, that's when I get out of sync and when I can get a little bit feeling like I'm not doing what I should be doing. So like, trust your gut. So when will I stop? Well, that's a good question too, because we were talking, well, definitely I'm not going to stop till I get to like at least 1 million, but then who knows what's going to happen then. Like if we like honestly, if I get to like $1 million, like the company's making $1 million like a year, then the opportunities of what I can do from there are just going to be exponentially, just so much more. It's just going to open up so many more doors and opportunities. I can't say what I'm going to be doing, but I doubt I would stop. I'd be like, okay, now we're just getting started. So that's going to be, something. So I'm looking forward to that. So for how much money would you give away Pixel, the channel and the website? Like right now, like the whole business, the whole company, like, well, again, too, is like, it's almost like asking like, what's the valuation? Like if somebody were to, like it's tough too. So like I look at the business now and in not 2 years, it's made like 160K, right? So if you think about what an evaluation of a company would be, you would say that, okay, maybe it's worth 2 times, 1.5 times, 5 times the yearly revenue or what have you. So if that's the case, say the yearly revenue is average 80,000 and someone wanted to buy me out, I'd be like, okay, $80,000 times 5, you know, that'd be like $400,000. So like we'd have to be talking in numbers somewhat similar to that, to be honest. So right, if someone would offer $1 million for my brand right now, yeah, if someone offered me $1 million right now, yeah, I'd be stupid not to take that, like 100%. Yeah, I would take it in a heartbeat. I'd be like, where do I sign? And then, because then I'd just go off and do something else with that $1 million, right? So, yeah, exactly. Like, why would I stop at $1 million? Yeah, that's like, it's just getting started, you know, because that's the goal. That's part of the goal. But then from there, it's like, oh my God, like what I could do with $1 million, like it'd be insane. What would you do if Webflow was no longer a thing? I think Brent just answered that question. Just go on Framer. Yeah, probably. Exactly. Or there's the other one too, the new open source one. There's maybe something like that. But yeah, I mean, if Webflow was not an option, I mean, yeah, there's lots of different web builders and stuff like that too. But Framer would probably be my first go-to thing. Sorry, not WordPress. we're not going back to WordPress. If no code were no longer a thing, that's a good question. Probably Ghost, to be honest. I think I would go with Ghost. For the types of sites that people need, smaller, like if I'm going for smaller websites here, I think Ghost. Yeah. Yeah, I love Ghost. Ghost is amazing. I always feel like everyone should check out Ghost. If you're making a simple 5-page website or what have you, and you need your client to be able to have an easy way to update their content and maybe make blog posts or whatever, Ghost is like fantastic. And your site's going to be lightning fast, and you're not going to have to worry about like all kinds of crazy plugins and what have you and all that stuff. Anyways, I think that's what I would do. But I don't think I would build a company around building Ghost websites. Unless it was themes, unless I was making themes and just selling them, which I think you can just sell them. That's a much easier thing to sell than a Webflow theme, because you don't have to be on their marketplace, because you can just sell the code, right? Which is nice. Okay. Anyways, we're a little sidetracked there, but awesome questions. Appreciate that. I got to be able to get better at answering the questions, but also just doing the work at the same time, so I don't get too cut up. Okay, Burke and Burke. Okay. Original creative marketing boutique in Halifax. Google it. A rare combination. 30 years of real world experience. Okay, studio bring with youthful talent. It's pretty powerful. Man, this text is so small. It's like difficult to read. That's because I'm old too. Pencil and paper. Yep. Love it. Heart and soul. Tooth and nail. Ready and ready. Give and take. Oh man, this text is like really hurting my eyes. That's crazy. It's really hurting my eyes to try to read this. Okay, they do have web design, but again, I think these guys are definitely more into the branding and like the print and stuff. This is really cool. I love this image here with the logos. That's really cool. Although this doesn't look like a pencil sketch. This looks like a printout. This doesn't look like pencil at all, so I don't know if that's legit. What would you do if ChatGPT can build websites with just a prompt with no need to change any code on your own? Because website related services were not needed anymore. Yeah, that's an interesting question. So I think Brent says here, I would dial in on marketing / direct response. I think that's the answer to Leo's question. So it's a good question, but I think I need more information, because there's how much money do I have in the bank? Do I have a family to take care of? And how much time do I would have to transition into something else? So there's a lot of things to consider. But in general, I would, the state that I'm in right now, I would try to open up an actual physical location somewhere downtown and run a podcasting / content creating studio where people could come in, film their content, or they can film their podcasts, and we would like engineer and mix all that kind of stuff, and basically have that as a place where people can make that kind of content. Because I think the content, this is an interview, yes, right? Because I think the content game is just going to go up and up and up and up. And I think more and more people are going to want to create and need to create content for their businesses. in order to be able to distinguish themselves from the competition, especially if AI is going to be really big on just developing people's websites, right? So that's what I think I would do. But that's just without actually really kind of thinking and doing any kind of analysis of what else the industry would need. Or, I mean, I could say I want to become a photographer, but that's tough too because like AI can just do all kinds of stuff too that photographers can do, but that's a whole nother issue. Would you sell Pixel for 500K if someone offered that right now? 500K? Yeah, because that's, again, that would take me, if I'm on the same trajectory, assume no growth or little growth, that would be 5 years worth of salary. So yeah, I'd do it for 500K. I think that would be fair price, or maybe even above fair. So yeah, I think again at the stage like right now, exactly where Pixel is at, probably 250K would be enough. Anything less than that, then I'm like, it's probably not enough for what I've built so far. So that's what I would say. Okay. Services. Okay, right. So they're print services. I just want to say marketing, logo design. They do some web stuff as well too. So like they're very small. So what can I say about these guys? I could say, what's the shortcut key? Control Enter. It looks like a two-person shop. Been around for a long time. Lots of experience. Would be interesting to talk to them, Thinking Podcast, about what they've seen change in the industry over the years. So yeah, these guys might be really cool to talk to. Illustrations, yeah, I do lots of stuff. Yeah, very interesting. Definitely keep note of these guys. All right. So, all right, close that. Dot Simple. Are these guys? Where are these guys? 902. That's a 902 number. Okay. Oh. Is this? Oh no, that's just a person. I thought that could have been. Who's running the show? We're a small team that thinks big. Okay. All right, let's go back here. Dot Simple. Paste that in. All right, websites, and they do, was it Shopify and WordPress, I think is what I read somewhere. Shopify and WordPress, right. Shopify, WordPress. So they do copywriting as well too. Let's see. Just put branding and copy writing. Of course, the maintenance. Throw that in there as well. So book a 15-minute call. Way too much information if somebody wants to book a call. I mean, I get it too. You want to qualify your leads. So, I mean, it's up to you, but that's a lot of information to ask. That's a lot. Occasionally, we don't receive the information from the form on our website. Well, then maybe you shouldn't have the form on your website. If it doesn't work, then get rid of it. Have something else. and then email us at so hello. Like that's kind of funny. I couldn't. Yeah. Like having a store. Well, sometimes we'll bring this through, and we'll charge you, but you might not get the product. So, yeah, exactly. What's the point of the form then? Like, yeah. Oh man. Anyways, I could reach out to them, say like, maybe you shouldn't have this form here. Anyways. This is Leo with these hypothetical questions. All right, what's going on here? Are you offering me $500,000 for a pixel? Yeah, let me talk to my lawyer. If someone offered you a job that pays $10,000 a month, in which you have to build websites, but you can't continue YouTube or Pixel, would you accept? No, not at all. There's no way in hell I'd accept that. The only reason I would accept that would be if I absolutely had no choice and like I was going to get kicked out of my apartment and my family would live on the streets and we'd have no food. That's the only way I would accept something like that. And then of course my company just wasn't working, right? And then that just means I just have to find another job. But yeah, there's no way. And the only way I would accept something like that is if it paid me something like $25,000 a month. But even then, it's like then I would only do it for like a year or two just to get enough cash so I can fund the next project that I would do, like the next venture. So and if no, not a fat chance. Turn it down immediately. All right. So small team focuses on like women, I would say, as the target market. Just from some of the content there that I read on the site. And let's go back to maps here. Let's type it in here. .simple website design. Yeah, identifies as women owned. Located in Halifax, but yet the button here is in British Columbia. So maybe they just don't have the yeah, I don't know. But that is .simple. Okay, well that's fine. We'll go with this. So Google rating of 5 and number of Google reviews is 5. So that's great. Whoops. Okay. So what else do we got? Okay, let's close that one. What's this one? graphicdesignhalifax.com. Okay. Paste that in there. Can we think for a moment how much money is being made right now in the crypto space? Like, I mean, is there any crypto that is launched? I mean, the Dogecoin went up quite a bit, I saw not too long ago. And I don't know if that's because of Elon Musk getting into his Department of Government Efficiency. Is that what it is? So, yeah, Bitcoin's nearly at 100K. American? That is crazy. Let me... oh, wait, that's not... Wait, what the hell? No. Go back to finance. Yahoo Finance, right? Is it here? I don't want Bitcoin. Well, here it is in the almost. So 90K. Yeah, nearly at 100K. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, but that's actually gone down quite a bit. Oh man. Oh, imagine. Oh, could you just imagine buying it when it was at like pennies? Oh, that's insane. I can't even think about that. Like, how crazy would that be if you had like, oh, you know what? I just had like I had a couple cryptos like Polygon or whatever, or Matic, whatever it's called now. I had some other ones. You know, you get like a couple million for like pennies, and if that one went up high, like that's crazy. Today, well, yeah, I guess it was at 93 at some point, which I saw, but not so much anymore. That went down. But what's ETH? What's ETH at right now? No, that's not what I want. Ethereum. It's not called. That's not it. Yeah, it's this one. Oh, interesting. This one's dipped quite a bit. All right. Hang on a second. Let's get back to work. We're looking at cryptocurrency here. All right. And then we're not even talking about crazy multiples on meme coins. Yeah, that's a whole other thing too. I mean, I like the cryptocurrency now, other than Bitcoin. Well, even Bitcoin. I mean, it's all just speculation at the end of the day. That being said, I mean, I love the idea of Bitcoin. I love the idea of decentralized banking. Like 100%. It would be amazing. But the problem is that people are using it right now for speculation and investments, and well, not even investments, maybe more speculation. So, you know, I would never use Bitcoin as a currency right now because it's so volatile and it's so up and down. Yeah. I mean, I feel like Bitcoin, like even now it's at $100,000. I could see it going to like $1 million at some point again, because there's only a limited supply, right? So it's going to be what it is, and then that's it. You know, whatever. Once the supply is done, it's done. So it's quite fascinating. But I mean, I love the idea. Give the power back to the people, so people are in control of money. But you know, anyways, that's a conversation for another day. And my Bitcoin, I don't even know how much. I don't even know what I have. I had my stuff. I had my crypto in. Brent, you probably know this. I had it in Celsius. Yeah, that was real smart. So then Celsius went bankrupt, and I did actually get my crypto back, like after 2 years of the whole bankruptcy proceeding, and I got it back finally. It's in Coinbase right now, but I lost. I don't know how much I lost. Quite a bit, anyways. So yeah, exactly. Oh no, yeah, it's gone. You should have known, right? Hey, 8% return or whatever the hell it is. It's like, yeah, if it sounds like a scam, it's a scam. So, but yeah, it wasn't that much money. So, you know, I mean, relatively to like a lot of people had like, you know, their life savings in there, which is not the greatest. Okay. All right. Let's finish this one here. Okay. So these guys are WordPress guys. Let's go with Web Technologies. They're using WordPress. Yeah, FTX. That one sounds even brutal with that guy, with that Sam guy or whatever. Oh, man. NFTs. I hate the idea of NFTs. And I know like Gary Vee was big on them. And I don't know if because he finds like trends and how new people are doing. But that whole stuff, that just rubbed me the wrong way, because I saw right off the bat, I'm like, this is just a way for people to scam other people, to just spend all their money on these stupid things, like all those stupid monkeys and all that stuff. Oh my God. All those apes. I hated that, because I'm like, this is just people. And like, especially all the influencers or whatever. Oh, this is my ape and I bought this or whatever. And it's like, you're just buying a stupid piece of code or a little thing in a database of an image that anybody can get from anywhere. So I don't know. It was just ridiculous. Anyways. Sorry if you like NFTs and like trading them or whatever, then, you know, if that's your thing, that's fantastic. But didn't Logan Paul try to do something with NFTs as well and just try like to gamify his stuff, and just like never works. And I get it too. It's hard work obviously trying to build a business and trying to make money for yourself, it's kind of easier to, you know, to think that, oh, I'm just going to buy this coin or I'm just going to buy this thing and then it's going to like quadruple in price and I'm just going to sell it and I'm just going to, away you go. But the problem with that is it gets to a point where everyone's buying something and who are you going to sell it to? And then eventually it's going to, like the pyramid's going to collapse. There's only going to be so many people that can buy your stuff. Yeah. So anyways. Okay. These guys do branding. Obviously, they do web design. So this is interesting. This is the first one we've come across that does video production. At least I think so anyways, from what I remember. So what do they have for... And they do photography as well, too. Okay, they look like they have some decent videos here, at least just looking from the screenshots. Like I'm looking here, I mean... You know, they can expose properly. You got the sun and everything here. Maybe a little bit bad with the full day sun with the harsh shadows here, but you know, this one's looking pretty good here. Got some drone shots, some color grading on here. So it looks like they know what they're doing, at least for video. Photography. That's a nice looking burger. Yeah. So they do some good stuff here. Let's just type in photography. Throw that in there. They do a free social media audit. That's interesting. So they offer a free social media audit. A form. At least they're not saying that this form might not work. If this form doesn't work, which you would never know, send us an email. Like, how would I know if the form doesn't go through? Oh, man. Okay. And they have a blog. Let's see if they're still active. September 18th. Okay, so they were blogging quite a bit in September, July, but then they just kind of stopped a little bit. So that's okay. It doesn't really mean anything. What can graphic design? Okay, branding. So just FAQs. Okay, there's James. I wonder if this is like a one-person shop with just this James guy. Okay, and they got budgets from 0 to 25K. Okay. It's hard to say this pricing. I feel like maybe I could go 0 to 15K. This could be a one-person shop. If Pixel was worth $1 billion tomorrow, would you sell it or continue? I mean, if it was worth $1 billion, then, and it would have like $1 billion worth of like web traffic and all that kind of stuff, I would likely keep it and keep going and make it worth 10 billion. Probably. Or I might sell it. It like, I mean, that really depends. $1 billion, I can't even think of that money. That's like what, 1,000 millions? Like, that's crazy amount of money. So it would really depend on what's like, am I just doing live streaming every day? Probably be like, okay, well, I don't need to do that anymore. Maybe sell it. So, but if I'm enjoying what I'm doing and I think that I'm providing value to society or whatever, and I feel like I can get even more from it, then I would probably keep going. But again, so you already asked this question. This is just like another way. If someone offered you $1 million for this channel, Pixel, and the Pixel channel, would you sell it and start over? Yeah, like 100%. Because the company now is not worth $1 million. So that would be ridiculous for someone to offer me $1 million. And I would say, thank you, and I would take it. you know, but if the company is worth $1 billion, that's a whole different story. But yes, if someone offered me $1 million for everything that I have, like Pixelwise or on YouTube and all that stuff, yes, I would sell it. If it was $500,000, I would sell it. If it was 250,000, then I would think hard about it. So, yeah. Well, the difference is that you lose this channel too. Yeah. Oh, well, my personal channel. Why would I sell my personal channel? Why would anybody want to buy my personal channel? That would be a little bit strange, to be honest. I see what you're saying though. I don't think this personal channel, I don't think it has any value to anybody other than me, right? Unless it had a certain amount of subscribers or whatever. But even then, it's not going to matter because like I would be the face of it, right? And I think somebody that's an astute entrepreneur wouldn't buy the business without knowing that they would have to buy the talent associated with it as well too, because that's where the value lies. So, but yeah. But anyways, $1 million but yeah, somebody wanted to buy my channel right now for $1 million. Like, what am I going to say? No? I'd be stupid to say no. You know? And I would just tell you guys, I'm moving somewhere else. Well, then that's the thing too. Maybe I couldn't do that because there's an NDA. I have no idea. Now we're getting into crazy hypothetical stuff that I wouldn't know how to answer. But yeah, someone's got 7 figures on the table. I am going to be all ears, listening to what they have to say. Okay. So anyways, I think we're pretty good here. I don't think we need to do too much more here. Is there anything that we can see? Like, well, what's this one here? Let's look at a couple if we can see some stuff in this Google search here. Antimatter Creative Labs. Ooh, that sounds really cool. Playground Creative Agency. Interesting. New Era Graphic Design and Web Development, but they don't have a website. That's interesting. They have we do websites. We just don't have one of our own. Halifax Web Design. Okay. Interesting. If all satellites crash tomorrow, like what I think is like, what would you do? Oh geez, I don't know. Move up north and live off the land, just like everyone else. If there's all satellites and all communication is stopped and ceased. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question. So Rolando, what do you think of this site? I feel like you'd like, because in terms of, hey, this is like super personal. Good clients. Hey, you work with Dalhousie too? So did I. Website design, social media management, and these are video production. That's one of the things that I worry about for me, about doing so many different things. Like, oh, well, I do like I do photography, we do video production. Like that's a lot. So this guy's actually really interesting. So you might have to have this guy on the podcast, see how he does it. What is his name? James Gaudet. I got to figure out sorry, let's go back here. Yeah, James. Yeah, what would you do? Yeah, no problem. I figured that's what you meant. What would you do, Leo, if all the satellites crash tomorrow? So we were here. So it's 18 years in business. I'm going to say 7+, or maybe I could just say 7. Lots of different services. So, well, branding, web design, social media management, and video production. Let's click on one of these to see if we can get, okay, so there's no It looks like there's no case studies, but they're just screenshots. Mm-hmm. So, target market industry. Client list. Yeah, I'll put it here in general observations. Focusing on new businesses. And helping small ones grow. I would prepare for an apocalypse because all the TikTok users would become zombies that search for the internet forever and just walking around trying to figure out how they can get their dopamine hits on their next video. Somebody should make that into a movie. It's like Zombieland. Maybe that's what happened in Zombieland. All the telecommunications went down and people just went crazy. Okay, so he's a Shopify partner and a Wix partner. So Wix and Shopify. And we already have the services. And we have, let's look at the blog. Is there a year? There's no year on here. What's the technologies on here? I totally forgot. This is from Sam yesterday. We can see. Okay, so WordPress. What's interesting? WordPress. So the site is on WordPress, but maybe for other things, it uses Wix. Okay. That's interesting. I had to connect with him. Okay. Antimatter. Okay. There's lots of play buttons going on here. This is an interesting hero section. I feel like, sorry, I'm just going to give a little bit of a design critique. There's nothing wrong per se about like what's here, but you know, at least on this monitor, you have a play button here and a play thing here, and then this here. There's like a lot going on this one. It's pretty busy. I would space this out a little bit more and bring this down, and maybe even just design it so that way this would always be at the bottom, just so that these two call to actions aren't fighting for each other, because this is really kind of fighting for my attention. Anyways. Success stories. 6 to 8 weeks. And where are these guys? Are these guys? Book an expert. This looks like a larger company. Like an agency. Yeah, the brand agent will make you where did this come from? This antimatter. Marketing agency. And they're here, eh? Interesting. That's a big one. Yeah. Do I believe a God or another thing? Do I have a controversial opinion? I will say, like, yeah, that's, you know, controversial opinion. I mean, I don't think, like, people can believe in whatever that it is that they want to believe. And I think everyone's fine to believe that. I think the problem comes in when other people try to force their beliefs on others. I think that's where things come into conflict. When people think that, you know, their way is the right way and is the only way, and that the only way to have peace or whatever is to make sure that everyone has to believe the same thing. So, yeah, I know those were different questions, for sure. So in terms of the first one, like in terms of believing God, I honestly want to keep this channel talking about business, and I don't want to get into any of that kind of stuff in here, because I just don't. I don't know. I don't think I don't think makes any sense. Because I don't think people come here to talk about religion or, politics and stuff for that matter. So we'll keep it at that. Because what I believe in, I don't think it matters in terms of if I can build good websites or not. But do I have controversial opinions? I'm sure I do. I'm sure you and I do not agree on every single thing that there is. And then if you believe in X and I believe in Y, and then that could be controversial. And it also means, what does it mean to be controversial as well, too? You'd have to kind of define that as well. Controversial because people don't agree with it, or controversial because it's, has a specific political leaning, or religious leaning, but I'm sure I do. So controversial just means an unpopular opinion. So what are those people used to do, those like unpopular opinions, and they'd say something, I don't know if that's like a Reddit thing or whatever. And it's like, people are like, oh, it's unpopular, but it's actually not unpopular because it's, everyone kind of thinks it, but doesn't say it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I do. So, but that's what you mean by controversial opinion. Yeah. I don't know, like, to answer your question, like, to be honest, I don't know what kind of opinions that I would hold are unpopular, because I don't really spend much time thinking about what other people are thinking about and what they find, popular versus unpopular. So I honestly don't spend a lot of time thinking about that. So I have my opinions on things, and I could be very opinionated. I could be strongly opinionated, but I also know that it's really important to be open-minded and being willing to have your mind changed and your opinions changed based on, new information, all that kind of stuff. So being strong in your opinions, being strong in your beliefs and your core, not your beliefs, I should say, just like your core values of what you think it means to be like a good person. But then you can incorporate other things that are kind of on the fringes of that. So if you know who you are and you know what it is to be a good person, and I think that can help you navigate the world and learn about new information, new opinions, and use that to be able to further strengthen, yourself as a person, to be a good person and to be the best person that you can be. So anyways, more philosophy. Definitely not a philosophizer, that's for sure. Though it would be cool. Antimatter. Oh, I didn't spell that right. I remember taking a philosophy 101 class back in first year university. That was fun. And our exam was basically, this was crazy. So that I was in, when I was in first year university, it was in 1999, and a big movie came out in 99. You guys might have seen it. It's called The Matrix. And in that philosophy class, the final exam was basically just like breaking down different questions and topics that were brought up in the movie The Matrix, which was crazy. But it's the whole idea, the red pill versus the blue pill. What is reality? How do you know if you're actually in reality, and all those kinds of questions that we had in class. So it was kind of interesting. And of course that movie was a big pop culture movie, phenomenon, but yeah. So what did I miss besides philosophical talks? Besides that, not much. We're just continuing on looking at a few of the different agencies that we can find here, just going off here on this kind of Google search of seeing kind of who's around. And there's just a couple people that I saw that I would think that I would love to just reach out to maybe even have on the podcast or the live stream. Some people that have been around the industry and the business for a while. But other than that, nothing nothing big and substantial. But yeah, I'm old. You didn't have to capitalize old. I'm not that old. I'm midlife, which maybe sounds worse because then maybe I'm in a crisis. Yeah. So yeah. Well, maybe, yeah. No, I mean, 99 that was first year of university. Yep. So, That was a great movie though. The Matrix. It was everywhere, like university campus. People were playing it in first year in the dormitories. So we had the big common room and they had the big thing. The Matrix was playing all over the place constantly. It was huge. It was like everywhere. And then bullet time was the thing. All the movies were doing bullet time, which was amazing. Anyways. All right. So these guys here, I'm just going to say general observations. Seem to be very large / corporate. Not my intended. I don't definitely want to look like that. This looks like, faceless stuff, right? Not my intended. Is that spelled right? Intended. And we don't know. Yeah, I have no idea, the cost or anything like that. Reviews. Yeah, it's tough to say. Yeah, we could talk about, let's see what, this is Antimatter, right? Because we see, they have 39 reviews. So we got 39 reviews here. 4.8. No, 5.0. Crazy. Not one bad review. EPA. I also saw Matrix in the cinema and rented the Ghostbusters in Blockbuster. Yeah, the Ghostbusters, the OG Ghostbusters. Yeah, the Matrix. That was an experience for sure. That was awesome. Yeah. Ghostbusters. That's another classic movie. Oh, that sucks. Well, you gotta think about the Matrix as classic. Yeah, we're getting old. Rolando and I, we're the same age too. I know that. What's my dream for Pixel? So I did a couple of videos about this actually, in terms of what I would like and what my vision is. But I guess I can answer you very quickly and briefly here. Is my vision for just what I'm doing in general is to be able to showcase what hard work and dedication and consistency can do for you to help you accomplish and get to your goal. If this live stream, if I do it for 5 years, get to $1 million or whatever, it's like this proof that you can go from nothing to accomplish your goals, no matter how big they are. If you just, you put in the work and whatever, and the ability to work hard and learn and all that kind of stuff. So that's my overall goal, is to be able to create some type of community, whatever, that inspires people to go out and reach and pursue their dreams and achieve them, whatever that may be, whether that's building a business, whether that's getting fit, whether that's playing sports, whatever the case may be, just kind of have that inspiration. That's my overall goal, I guess, maybe in life. So Pixel itself is another thing where I'm still trying to kind of figure that out. But yeah. What do you think is your, I guess this is purpose. I think you're saying purpose. And what do you give yourself? I think that probably answers that question as well too, if that's what you're asking. I'll worry when I need the blue pill. Yeah, exactly. Why, oh why didn't I take the blue pill? Oh man. Yeah. Okay. So Antimatter Labs, we got that. Website design Halifax. Winter Tree Web Services. That's an interesting. This looks like it's just keyboard stuffing, man. This looks total keyboard stuffing. What is this? Main services, web design from $4.99, web hosting from $4.99, SEO. We're in our 20th year. Oh, this is interesting. Is this like legit? 5-page professional website design, $900. Complete the form. Business hours replies usually within 20 minutes. And contact us. Yeah, so this to me, I guess it could be something. I think this could be like, this would be like, I don't even know how to say this, but like the cheapest you can probably get. I've never seen prices this low. Like $900 for a 5-page website, a professional one, no less. So let's throw this in because it's the first one we actually have with an actual price. And they actually have an office as well too. So they might be doing mad volume in super cheap websites. So Rolando with a question. How would you design a service card? I'm struggling with that in my template. So when you're saying a service card, I think what you mean is having a box card that has like web design and then like description of the service itself. And then you can have like 3 of them kind of thing. I think that's what you mean by service card. Is that correct? Just let me know, and then I guess we can go from there. But I mean, it depends as well too on like what does the site look like and what's, yeah. So it's tough to give an answer to that. But I guess I could say things in general of what you would want to have on the service card, and you can think about like what should be in there and what kind of people would look for. So Leo, if this business becomes $1 million business in a few years and someone watches this episode in the future, what is your message to that person? Okay, Jesus. That's a good one. So yeah, I kind of talked about this before about thinking about making videos to like my future self, or this I guess could be to anybody in their future self. So I mean, it's tough to say because in this scenario, it's like, I know it's going to be worth $1 million, but it's not worth $1 million now. But I guess what I would say though is probably the most important thing. This is what comes to mind is to the person who's watching this in the past, or to the person that's watching this into the future. And now that I'm here now, and that I will be at $1 million, is to make sure that whatever it is that you are thinking of doing and that you're thinking of starting, make sure, hang on a second, let's do this. Okay. Make sure that whatever it is that you're doing and the thing that you're going to start to do to go onto this journey of building $1 million company, make sure that you enjoy doing what it is that you're doing, because you're going to have to be going out here every single day and working on something and working on building something. Now, it's not to say that it has to be the most fun thing in the world, like playing video games and give you all this kind of joy and happiness. But deep down inside, make sure it's something that fits kind of who you are, what you like to do, what you're good at, and that it's something that is going to bring you a sense of purpose and a sense of fulfillment if you get to the place that you want to go, or when you get to the place that you want to go. So make sure to just really kind of keep that in mind, because you are going to need to spend a lot of time figuring things out, and a lot of bumps and lessons along the way. And the more enjoyable it is of the work that you're doing, the more bearable those ups and downs are going to be. I guess that's kind of what I would say. I don't know. Is that good? Did I pass? When they say 5 pages, do they mean pages, single page, archive page? What do they mean? Yeah, who knows? I literally just mean it's just any 5 pages. Like you want to have a homepage, about, contact, like whatever, services and pricing. You get 5 pages. I don't care what's in it. You just get 5 pages. You want an archive page? Well, that's 6 pages. So that's more. You want a blog? That's more. Hey, but you get SEO. It's an extra $300. Anyways, okay. So this one we can go to price range. So this is super cheap. So let's go. I think we can make a new one less than $1,000. Services. I'll just say website design. Observation. Geared towards the low. What's the word I want to say? Geared towards the low, like budget spender. What is it called? The budget spender? What, like, I'm trying to think of like the word for someone who's broke. Like what's the way that you would say, you know, the person that shops at the cheapest, like the value-based price shopper? What the hell? You know, the broke person, geared towards the low budget shopper or consumer. You know, the dumpster diver. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. Leo, that's a great message. You're really good at answering questions. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. Keep putting me on the spot, but that's all good. WTF, that's what they're making. That's why they're making it so difficult to create a business around web development. They use builders and act like they're built with code. Yeah, so I don't know if you're talking about these guys specifically, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that make it, they make it sound as if they're doing their stuff, but yet they're just using a template. Or whatever the case may be. And they just, you know, pawn off and it's like, here's the site too, which is kind of one of the things that I had a little bit of reservation about, thinking about what types of work that I wanted to do to my clients and what they could expect from me. And, you know, how do I differentiate doing a full custom site versus just using it kind of a template or going from a template and just making their site. So, but yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. Anyways, I wouldn't try to make a business like this, like going for the lowest, the cheapest price, the race to the bottom. Like, I don't know how you can make money doing this unless you have a huge amount of clients coming in through the door, or you just have a template and you just spin off a template and you don't really kind of care whether the site is good for the client or not, because you can't. At $900, how can you care about what the client's doing? And if they have an actual building that they got to pay rent for, like, that's churning customers pretty fast. So anyways, but Rolando, let me know again too about your question about making the cards, because I know I didn't really answer your question, but I just need, I guess, a little bit more information to make sure that I could at least try to give you something. So at first you need to start competing on price until you have a name in the area. So I think yes and no, because I do have a name in the area, but it's not obviously as pronounced as the people are now. Because I mean, I have a name around Dalhousie University. I have a name around, well, I guess it would just kind of really be Dalhousie University, actually, if I think about it. Is there anywhere else that I've done work for? No, it's really around the university space. So I'm known at Dalhousie, less so much at the University of Waterloo, because it's been a long time since I've been there. But those are kind of like the two big spaces and kind of a little bit kind of around there. So, but I really need to get myself into the Chamber of Commerce and get myself known through there and through that, those types of people that do all the small business and stuff like that. So for sure, definitely need to get my name on there. And competing on price, I hear what you're saying, and I totally get what you're saying, but I'm never going to compete with people on price. Because number one, we don't know anybody else's price. Out of all the people that we've seen so far, this is the only company that we know what they actually charge in price. Like everyone else, we have no idea. It's contact us for a custom quote. So everything else, we're just kind of guessing as to what their price might be. And those guys, like, I'm not gonna try to outcompete these guys. Like, I'm not charging $500 for a website. Like, that's insane. That's money I was charging back when I was, first starting out 20 years ago. And even then I was making more than $8.99 for a website, right? So actually I shouldn't lie. The first one I did was $500. So It was $500, and it was, yeah, not very good. but yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Like competing on price, yeah, I think it makes sense for some people and for some things, but for web design, I don't want to be a race to the bottom. That's not to say that I'm going to be spending $20,000 for a website. So I'm going to be down at, I think what you're saying here, start your price at $1,300 plus expenses, but standardize it. Of course, a page with that price is based on a template. Yeah. So what I'm thinking too is I could standardize it in a way where it's how much time, because again, I don't know if I'm going to go more towards contact me for pricing versus having a set price. I'm still not sure yet. I guess we need to kind of analyze this a little bit, and then, like you said, go to the business plan and see what actually we're going to be serving, like what our services are going to be. Because where was I going? I was rambling here for a second. Right, because I think what I'm thinking of is if I waiting to see what they want and what the customer is needing for their website, then I could give them a quote, but quote the price based on not about trying to extract the most amount of money, but being like, okay, well, this is going to cost me personally like $2,000 to do, like my time and, like you said, all the expenses and all that kind of stuff. And then charge the extra percentage on top of that. So it's not value-based pricing. It's more of what's my time worth plus extra for the business, right? So if it's going to cost $2,000, then maybe I charge like $2,500 to $3,000. So I get that extra $1,000, which can get reinvested into the business, right? So I don't know, like there's lots of different angles to look at it, but I think it's going to, depend on what services I'm going to offer, and what we're going to do. And I wonder, this is a question that I think I'd like to ask you guys. Hang on a second. There's a comment here from Leo, and then I'll ask you guys this question and ask you what you guys think. So if Pixel becomes a popular service and many people ask you to make it a subscription service because they can't afford $200 at once, would you make it a subscription service? Oh, so this is for Pixel Pieces. So you do know that a couple days ago, we decided that for Pixel Pieces, like I'm not going to do any more work on trying to get people onto Pixel Pieces anymore. So none of those, no more of those videos or any of that kind of stuff. We're going to focus specifically right now on the live stream, on the podcast, and using the live stream and the podcast to help us get more clients to Pixel Media itself. So we're going to be really focusing on trying to get clients for web design. So that's going to be our main focus. So that being said, so this website though, however, if it does become popular and people are asking for a subscription service, will I bring it up? If it was popular right now and people were saying, you know what, I can't afford it, I would probably reach out to them on a personal level, because someone would have to reach out to me to tell me that they can't afford it. And I would want to know why they can't afford it. And it could be very likely that I would just give it to them for free, as opposed to trying to change my whole business model around somebody that can't afford $250. Because again, I'm just thinking, if there is there a kid out there that wants to build websites for customers, but they literally just don't have the tools and they can't afford the $250? Like, okay, come talk to me. I'll help you out. Here, I'll just give you access. You can have it for free. Like, I'm not going to try to take your money, because if you can't afford $250, but $20 is okay. Like, nah, I don't buy that. So I'll just give it to you for free if you're really in that much of a need, for the whole thing. So anyways, that's what I would do, at least in my thoughts. So, yeah, if you can use Webflow, you can afford it. It's the Apple of builders. But I guess the way too would be like, because you can use Webflow as somebody that's just developing or trying to learn how to build websites for customers. You can use it without paying a single penny, because you can still deploy and launch it at, Webflow.io domains, right? They'll just give you like a subdomain. So I could see very, very small scenarios where somebody decides that they want to be a freelancer and they're going to learn Webflow, but they're like a student, so they don't have the money to pay, but they would want to have access to tools like Pixel Pieces. So I think that's such a small niche scenario that I would not build my business around. Like, you don't build your business around the exceptions to the rules, right? So that's just what I would do. And I know maybe that's a controversial opinion about how I don't like subscription models. Businesses love subscription models, but users generally don't, because subscription models generally favor the company because it extracts more money from the customers, and the customers end up not owning things. So all the power is given to the companies and less to the people. And I'm all for bringing things back to the people. So maybe call me controversial then for that one. So Rolando, before you continue with your research, I think you need to define exactly your business model, costs, and prices. So I do agree. I agree with you. So that I want to ask you a question on that. But prices, I know for a fact, prices are always going to be, other than this, like the set prices of maybe like the introductory prices, things are going to be dynamic in that if Dalhousie University comes up and says, I need this website, there's no way in hell that I'm going to charge them the same amount of money if, Susan Smith comes in, who's just starting her new crocheting business and wants a website. They're not charging the same money. It's like, it would be stupid to charge the exact same money, even though it might even be the same amount of work. Like, that's just that to me, that's just bad business if you did that. So yeah, Pixel Pieces, power to the people. Yeah, exactly. Just give me money and then I'll give you back all your power. There you go. So if someone can't afford $200 at once, you will assume that they are lying and you will give them the service for free? No, I won't assume they're lying. I assume that they're telling the truth and that they can't afford it, which is why I would give it to them for free. So I'm not assuming that they're lying. I'm assuming that they're telling the truth, right? I always think I think if I had a restaurant and the meals cost $200 at a restaurant, and I saw some kid dumpster diving behind my restaurant, I wouldn't say to the kid, hey, maybe I'll give it to you. You could pay me in installments for the food. Just pay me $20 every month for the next 10 months and I'll give you the meal. It's like, no, I'll just give you the meal because I could see that you need it, right? And maybe that leg up can help that kid grow up to do something super useful that can contribute to society, right? Like, I don't know. So that's kind of what I'm saying with that one. So yeah, if someone tells me they can't afford something, I believe you. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. I'm not gonna. What the hell? I have no idea. I don't know what's in your bank account. I don't know. You have great morals. I don't know. I mean, they work for me so far, but thank you. I guess, yeah. Rolando, I can't afford to spend $200 on a package of insoles. Oh, hang on. Where'd that comment go? Oh, the comment's deleted. Sorry, I missed. I didn't read it in time. Okay. Oh, it's still showing up on here. I guess I can't. So you deleted that comment. I can't take it down. I guess I could take it down by doing this. Right. Okay. All right. Okay. So here's the question. Oh, comment came back up again. Okay. I can't afford to spend $200 on a package of templates. I can spend $500 on dinner with my wife, but not $200 on something like that. So that's another. I think you're being like genuine here. I think I could be wrong. Maybe you're trolling me. Not trolling me, but I don't know if you're being sarcastic or whatever. I can't tell. But assuming I'm going to take you at face value here, is that's also a matter of perspective on what you think is actually valuable to you and what will bring value to your life, right? So for you, $200 on templates is like the most ridiculous thing you'd want to spend, or components, I guess, on this like for my business. But $500 dinner for your wife, it's a night out. You guys are going to have fun. And, you guys are going to have a nice time later after dinner. Great stuff. That's worth $500. I mean, well, yeah. So it's worth it, right? So everyone, there's those kinds of things to think about as well too, is like, how much value are you getting, And I think that's where the marketing kind of comes into play as well too, for like my business would be, I need to show you that, listen, if you spend this $200 on this product, you're going to turn around and make $1,000 the next day. So you got to make it like a no-brainer. Like if I said to Rolando, I guess, hey, you spend $200 on this, the next time you go to dinner for your wife, it's only going to cost you $350, or you're going to be able to do it twice as much as you were before, or whatever. And he'd be like, yeah, that's amazing. So you got to put it in perspective of what brings the value to that person. Yeah, exactly. Having or not having money for something does not mean that you do not have the money. Yeah, for sure. 100%. So question, here's what I wanted to ask. So I did this thing here. So I kind of erased this, but this page here. But I put down a list of just complete brain dump of all the things that I could potentially put in for Pixel services. And I don't want to, Okay, let me formulate kind of the question that I want to ask here. So so these are things that I know that I could do, but should I do them? And so Rolando, you're making good points about what is my business, what am I going to be offering, and what have you. So obviously Pixel right now is straight up, I build websites, and then even more specifically, Webflow websites, right? So to me, I think that makes sense. Obviously, I'm going to do something about websites. And I think to start off, again, I could be wrong. I don't know. I'd love to know what you guys think of just focusing on that. As an example, then we could talk, and then we know what the service is going to be. Then we could think about the pricing and all that kind of stuff too. And then maybe there could be specific add-ons or something that we could add on to like a web design, where it could be SEO stuff, or it could be, not that I would do this, but like social media marketing or whatever, right? So as an example, right here, we just looked at this guy's website, and this is a guy, I'm James, he's a Halifax freelancer. So if I'm going to look at James here, and I feel like this is like similar to me, because he's like, hey, you know what? I do branding, I do web design, I do social media management, video production, all this kind of stuff. I have a little bit of a pause, especially if it's not my money, if I'm working for a company and we need to hire somebody that does, jack of all trades, master of none. It does give me a little bit of pause of like, maybe if I want photography service, I'm going to go to the guy that just does photography, that's been doing photography for 20 years, and then that's it, right? Like a photographer and branding, or social media, I understand that they're all creative and they're all super related, but number one, do I want to offer all those things? And number two, is that going to serve me in the long run, or maybe into the short, medium term run? I don't know. So anyways, so all that being said, I did write these are all the things that I know that I could do and the things that I'm good at. But of course, the thing that I'm the best at, of course, is website design. So that's what I'm going to offer. But does it make sense to offer other stuff on there as well too? So hang on, let's get to a couple comments here. So Leo, I heard something very interesting in my opinion. Someone said, if you don't pay for the product, you are the product. What's your opinion or perspective on this? Yeah, I've heard about this plenty of times. It's just like Facebook and like Google, like you're using Google Analytics and all that kind of stuff. It's not, you're not necessarily a product, but it's like, they're collecting data from you, right? So then, yeah, I guess you are kind of the product. So yeah, that's not new. I've heard about this for like a long, long time. And that's basically it. Cause you got to think of how people are going to pay for it. If you're not paying for it, someone is paying for it. And then what are they paying for? So the reason why Facebook is, was valued at so much it is not because of the fact that you're able to connect with your family. It's because they're able to take your data and your information about who you are, what you do, what you talk about, what you buy, where you visit, all that kind of stuff. And they sell that to companies and advertisers, right? So yeah, you're the product, because that's what, when I want to go on to Google ads or YouTube ads or whatever, I'm buying access to specific people. And the only reason I know about those people is because you've willingly given your data to those companies to sell. So yeah, that's true. Sam, welcome. Late to the stream. Hey, better late than never, as they say. I'm having a great day. I think everyone else is as well too. Can't speak to anybody, but Rolando's going to have an even better day once he takes his wife to dinner. But other than that, yeah, doing well. So, no, web design and development is excellent. The photos and videos are made, but at a small extra cost, as long as they're going to be used on the website. So you mean like the photos and videos, like if I was to offer that as services, those are like extra things that are going to be, yeah. So, but I think, so what you're saying is that it really doesn't make sense to roll that into like the services that I would be offering, right? So SEO is already included in the website because you're a web developer, not a web. Yeah. So those are the things too that, they get rolled in, right? So like SEO is, website design development, like it's kind of like it's baked in. But I guess the thing too is like, if I'm looking on the website, right, where we bring in another tab here where it says, I could probably edit this better in Webflow, right? But if there's a services tab here, what are the things that people might click on that I might want to list, if any at all, right? So, but yeah, like if someone comes to me and says, hey, do you do SEO? It's like, I'm not going to do SEO on your WordPress website. You know what I mean? So, I think these are things that I'm going to need to think about and try to figure out how I'm going to make it make sense. Because again, too, I don't want to like reinvent the wheel here and spend 3 weeks building this other website or whatever. But I want to, going back to, hang on a second. Let me see if I can open up this video that I was talking to you guys about at the beginning of the stream. Hang on a second. I know I closed this up. Right, this video here.
Talking about storytelling. If you want your
Okay. So there's this video that came up, right? So, right, how to become a master storyteller. So what I love about this, again, you click on this thing, and then it brings you to his website, which is basically a lead generation magnet, what have you, right? Really great stuff. So what I want to have is, again, thinking about how we're going to be marketing our business, right? Which is going to be on this live stream, and it's going to be also more predominantly on the podcast. And when people are watching the podcast, at least on YouTube right here, we're going to have a little thing that's going to say right here, like instead of get my free blueprint, it's going to say, work with me or get me to want to build a website or something like that, whatever. Like I have no idea what it's going to say. And then have a link, and it's going to go to Pixel Pieces. It's like I want them to land somewhere, and maybe it could be a different page. It doesn't have to be like this specific page. It could be more of a landing page inside of Pixel Pieces for sure. But something that is so clear and concise about what it is that they're getting, at least if it's in a lead generation thing. Like maybe that's where I create a PDF of like how to get your own website going or something like that. I don't know. I have no idea. But I want to do something like that to be able to use the podcast that we're building to be able to generate and get leads for the business. If that makes any sense. That's what I'm thinking anyways. Yeah. So anyways, but what makes sense to me, of course, basically just having a website, and what comes in that, SEO comes in that, of course. So yeah, this is where it can get, like, I want to think about branding, but that's like a whole nother thing. Oh. Like brand and brand development. We're always having a great day watching Room Stream. I appreciate that. Thanks, Leo. Get me to want to build a website. Yeah, like something like that. Yeah, exactly. Something simple like that. I'm going to be rude, but you can't promote the business within this live stream. Its highest amount of views is 769 in 5 months, which doesn't give you enough exposure. No, that's fair enough. That's definitely fair. But it's not to say that it won't in the future. But it's also a good point too, in that you're right. Maybe let me take a step back and say that the audience that are going to be watching the live stream are like, well, I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about. If my live stream, because we want to get this thing to be more specific, right? And be more about the process of building the $1 million company, right? So again, we're talking about either having people on the live stream that help us in specific areas, like, this person's going to talk about starting up their design company. This guy's going to start on talking about how to use Notion, all kinds of different things and tools and tricks and tips or whatever about just being an entrepreneur. And if somebody is wanting to learn how to become an entrepreneur, and they might want to have a business in mind, this hopefully could be a good live stream where they could learn some of those processes and some of those things. And if that's the case, maybe they might not necessarily want to start a web design business, but they might just want to design or start a business. And every business basically needs a website, right? So there could be stuff that goes down the line. Yeah, sure. It's, I'm not rolling in the dough in terms of the amount of leads that I'm getting, or even the amount of people that are watching my videos, for sure. It's not a lot, but in the future it could be. But yeah, but I'm also not counting on it. So it's a good point. But yeah, maybe the podcast itself might not be the end all be all of the listeners themselves being direct possible clients, but more of getting that exposure of me and what it is that I do, right? So that people, again, see me in town locally, says, hey, that's the guy that does the podcast, and he knows I know that he does web design or whatever the case may be, right? So yeah. So you need to promote it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and pay for ads on Google. So I've already done the ads on Google. I've spent like, $400 or $500 now on Google Ads to bring them into Pixel for website design, and I haven't gotten a single lead from it. So probably because I'm not good at Google Ads, or because that's probably the reason why, or also maybe because it's just really expensive to get quality leads now. But I think from what I've done, I did not do a good job at really understanding how to run a good Google ad campaign. So definitely not targeting the right people. So, and I didn't want to blow through all my money trying to get people to build a website. So Leo, if you could reverse anything you ever did for this business, what would you undo? Yeah, I know exactly what it would be. But I can't mention it yet. I can't mention this yet because I haven't talked about this yet. So it's something that's been behind the scenes, and it's something that hasn't been unveiled yet. And it was going to, but it didn't because obviously it failed. And I would definitely undo that one without question because that was a very expensive mistake. It was a very expensive mistake. And I'm talking in the 5 digits expensive mistake. So I can't say what it is though, but that's a story for another day. I'll get to it. I can't tell you today, but you will know at some point. You will know. So yeah, it was a very expensive mistake, but hey, that's the learning process. Yeah. A story from Monaco. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the only thing I could say the lesson learned is, well, I don't even know what the lesson learned with that one, but I do another business that I had before this one I had other partners. So there's 3 of us going in, and for whatever reason, we wanted to incorporate. I didn't really want to incorporate, but it had to get incorporated. And we ended up going to lawyers for it. And my whole gut was telling me, don't go to these lawyers. Don't do any of this kind of stuff. And ended up doing it. And I was just like, it's got to be the cheapest ever that we can make it be. And then it ended up being like $6,000 or $7,000 just to get incorporated, which I was just like, this is insane. And I was like broke at the time, like super, super broke. And then so I had to spend all this money on incorporated, and we didn't make a single penny. And it was just like, it was the stupidest decision ever. And just like, trust your gut. If you're doing something in business and you're new and you don't feel comfortable, or you feel as if like the risk is too much and that the reward's not going to be there, then I would just trust your gut. So maybe that's a little bit of a story that I could say about learning how to trust your gut, because that amount of money actually set me back for a long time. Because when you're broke and you have to give up like $2,000, $3,000, it's a lot of money, and it takes a lot of time to recover from that. So yeah, definitely a story from Monaco. Absolutely. Did you hire Carinosa to promote Pixel Pieces? I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Should I look this up, or am I going to get in trouble if I type this up? Carinosa. Philippine dance. Is that? Why am I looking up the wrong thing or the right thing? Okay, is this correct? Is this what I'm looking at? But then someone who's dancing, yeah, a romantic scenario. No, I did not hire anyone like this, I guess, if that's the question. Yeah, no. Okay, so all right. So the one thing that I'm thinking about here is, like, as Rolando says, it's really important for me not to go down any kind of rabbit hole or anything like that. And the idea of what I was saying about stopping Pixel Pieces is because I want to focus on Pixel Media, and I want to focus on this site so that I can start bringing in some cash and some revenue into the company, right? So I'm not trying to reinvent any wheels or anything like that. I just want to I guess, figure out how I could maybe make some tweaks to this that could make it very clear about what I do and who I serve. And, at least outline a little bit in terms of what the pricing is going to look like, at least for the, if I'm just going to be going for a more generic audience in terms of who I'm going to serve for building websites. And that also have something that could fit really well and a good segue into me, like, easily being able to explain what I do to people when I'm talking to them on live stream, or specifically to the podcast, right? Or people that are watching me in the podcast. And I guess the question is too, is like, how could I, like, what kind of leads or generation should I even think about in the podcast? Or should I even think about that at all? Like, I don't know. That's actually a really good point. It's like, do I have a call to action, for the podcast? Because not everybody's going to be interested in web design. So yeah, I don't know. That's another good question. Maybe that's something different. Maybe I just, not that I actually do anything with it, but I think it's maybe I just start a newsletter where it's just kind of like I have this right here, where it's just, hey, this is what I'm interested in. This is what we're going to be doing for the podcast, and just sign up here and then just go from there. Maybe that's the specific thing for people that are watching the podcast as not maybe a key demographic, but just as a person that's interested in learning about entrepreneurship, business, and all that kind of stuff. What I would do with this, I have no idea, but it's never a bad idea to try to think about that kind of stuff and start collecting emails, I guess, from your audience. I have created several businesses, some of which are still running, and I'll tell you clearly, hiring a lawyer to create a company and the partnership agreement is the best money you can spend. So I agree with you. Yes, it is super, super important. But I skimmed a lot of the detail in terms of like what happened in that company and why it needed to get incorporated and all that kind of stuff too. So it is important, especially as your business kind of moves forward. So generally speaking, yeah, I think getting good legal advice is pretty helpful. That being said, especially if you have partners. So if you have partners and there's not like, it's not just you doing your business, then I think it just makes sense to have a lawyer, even though they're expensive, like hire the lawyer. So yeah, my idea definitely wasn't to just say that don't have a lawyer because they're expensive and that they're a waste of money. So that's not it at all. My reservations in that specific scenario was number one, I didn't have the money. And number two, I knew that it wasn't necessary based on, and anyways, I guess it was necessary, but it wasn't even necessary to hire like the most expensive lawyer ever as well too, right? So yeah, that was different. So there was a lot of, and then the way that the funding was coming in as well too. So it was a very good learning experience. Very good learning experience. So that was really good about what happened with that. And if you are broke, do not start a business. If you do not know how to create your own job, you are not ready to have a business. I don't think I agree with that, to be honest, because how else are you going to learn how to start a business if you don't just start a business? I mean, I think and I think a lot of businesses, you can start without spending a lot of money or any money, to be honest. And even in Canada, you can get started by just doing sole proprietorship, registering for $60, and there you go, you have a business. You want to cut grass. Like I cut grass for people when I was in high school and grade school. That was a business. Like it's not a fancy incorporated kind of business, but it teaches you a little bit about, hey, if I do work for other people and I could market myself and people know that I'm the guy that cuts grass, and then you learn that entrepreneurship of doing things on your own and how you can provide value for people. So, Leo said, yeah. So, and I think, because what you're saying, don't start a business, create a self-employment first. I mean so that could be just even doing a little bit of wordsmithing and saying like, what do we mean by like a business, whether it's like a big corporation or something like that. Well, self-employment, which is, I think I agree. That's just like, entrepreneurship. So yeah, so like, that's what we're saying. Yeah. If you cut grass, you don't have a business, you are self-employed. So yeah, I think that's just the entrepreneurial spirit is there. I don't know if you would agree with that one. The kid that's cutting grass, the kid that's selling lemonade on the street corner on hot days, the kid that's going to the beach and selling like ice cream or, pop or whatever the case may be, because that's where all the people are and they're going to want drinks. Yeah, you're not creating a business, but you're understanding at least entrepreneurship, supply and demand, all that kind of customer relations, learning how to deal with money. So I think all of those things are good. So yeah, what you're saying, being an entrepreneur is not the same thing as being a businessman. They are very different things. So that's true. So I think what we're talking about here is just, again, you're talking about the whole entity of starting a business. Sure, it's 100%. That's not a business. It is different things. And there's a whole bunch of different skills that you need to be, the Donald Trump businessman, right? The guy that owns the the big corporations and running a big company like that and dealing with employees and legal stuff, sure, it's definitely different. But I guess what I'm talking about, or I guess I don't even know what we're talking about, not per se, but just for people that they haven't started a business, they've never even been self-employed, they've never done anything. All I'm saying is that you don't have to spend money to get started, right? If you want to figure out how you can be on the path to, creating a business or a company, sure, make a website for your neighbor. Take your camera that you have, your digital camera, and start doing some headshot photos of your neighbors, or start making photo content or video content for the business owner down the street that wants social media stuff, right? And just get some money from that. So I guess that's what I'm saying. To start the process of learning how to be in business and to do business, or being self-employed, you don't need to spend the money to do that. You can go ahead and just get started. And don't let the excuse of not having any money stop you from being able to create something great. Because a lot of people have created businesses that are worth millions and tens of millions or whatever, and they started from like not having any money. So, but yeah, anyways, I know we're talking about the definitions and stuff, that stuff too. So, so Leo says this too. Some of the biggest businesses were founded by people who were broke when they started. So yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, having a business is generating jobs for others, and the income keeps coming in without you having to worry about it. Being self-employed is having to work for the business to work. So, I mean, I think we're just really kind of talking about the different definitions of what does a business mean. And, like, I hear what you're saying, but I truly believe, like, there are people that have a business that is doing 7 figures, 8 figures, and they're solo. It's just them. So you can call it being self-employed, but I mean, it's legit business, and they could do it where they can take time off and the money is still kind of coming in, right? It's not, so doesn't always have to be like a service-based business. But every business needs to have somebody doing work in it, right? So even if it's a huge business generating jobs for other people, if people stop working at it, it's going to go bust. Stoyan missed the whole stream. Thankfully, there are replays, so that's there. Yeah, are we done? I don't know if we're done. We're having good discussions here on like starting a business and entrepreneurship and self-employment and stuff like that too. So, but yeah, I think we got what we wanted to get done today, at least in terms of kind of reviewing the competition of the people here in Halifax. And I think one of the things that I've noticed the most about all of these businesses is that nobody here sticks out to me as premium. Like, you guys have seen all the sites, like none of them are like, wow, this business does like amazing work, right? So nothing sticks out to me like that. So that's definitely one takeaway there. So we understand who they are, potential gaps in the market. So again, this could be a gap, but depends on what you think. I think like the higher low price. So we obviously saw the low ticket item. I think it was this guy's that were like $800, $900 for a website. But again, because no one else screams premium here either. So that could definitely be a gap, right? If you wanted to fill the premium web design market, I think there could be a gap there. Again, are there going to be lots of people that are going to want that as a service? Highly doubtful. But there are people that drive Lamborghinis and Ferraris. They have no problem paying $250,000 for their car or whatever, their Bentleys or whatever. So there's going to be people that want to spend $150,000 on a website. I'm not saying I'm going to fill that gap. I'm just saying I think I see that gap there. So, but then again, are they going to really hire the small firm in Halifax to do that? Or are they just going to go to New York City or Hong Kong or wherever the big design companies are and just hire them anyways. You know, the Ogilvy or Ogilvy, I can't even pronounce that marketing agency, like all those big agencies, right? They're going to go somewhere else because then you don't have to be at, you know, at the local person for that. So I don't know if that's so much of a gap, I guess. Haven't really seen any opportunities to buy a business. It would be kind of interesting to maybe do a little bit more of a deeper dive to go into that page 4, 5, and 6 of the Google search and see if there's any opportunities of an individual that's a freelancer or a small company, seeing if that, you know, they might not be wanting to do this anymore, seeing if they want to buy it. Maybe going into the Chamber of Commerce might be a good thing to look at. Chamber of Commerce, Halifax. Oops. Right. So definitely want to, how much does this cost? 2,000 members, cost saving. How much does it cost? Okay, membership options. I'm not a robot. Oh God, what is this? Cars. Okay. Now, I don't want to submit. I want additional info. Primary billing. So, and you want my billing information, but how much are you going to bill me? Pricing. Here we go. $360. I guess that's going to be 500 employees. Okay. What do they have for events here? Annual fall dinner. Ooh, geez, this is still cost $220 just to go to this dinner. Ooh, man. See, I would like someone to go with, so I don't go all solo. But Alice is going to be there. Cool. All these Dow people. That's funny. Anyways, Leo, I miss many streams. But I always hop in and it's fun when I'm in here. It's always fun when you're here, Leo. Rolando, they are self-employed, not running a business. That is the problem. People are focused on confusing things, and that is why they believe that anyone can be a business person. So, yeah, I guess you could say that there's been confusing in terms of the terminology of saying like business, self-employed, entrepreneurship. Is there anything else I'm missing? Another terminology? Or like even running a company. Yeah, I think maybe all those terms are being used interchangeably in the space. And especially if you're looking in the TikTok space or whatever, or people throwing in like very fast, quick content of like, here's how you start your own company or whatever. So yeah, so there are, of course, very different distinctions of what each like industry is. I don't even call it industry, but like a business versus self-employed. So maybe that could be a good idea for like a video of just talking about the different types of ways to make money and put them in the specific buckets. And then also having a list of criteria of like what to expect of each of those individual, like what do you expect? What's the difference between a business and self-employment? What's the difference between that and being an entrepreneur? And an entrepreneur can also be self-employed, but it can also make a business. So yeah, there's different things. Because there are agencies focused on the number of clients, not on profit capital. Because remember that the business is not in development, but in maintenance. Yep. Yeah. Or Drake spending $250K on shoes. Yeah, that's when I was talking about people spending money and, trying to, it's not just about, I was talking about the gaps in the industry, right? And there could be gaps in, what was I saying? In here, at least in Halifax, where there's not the high ticket, doesn't seem like there's any high ticket agencies here. Only 15% of a business's expenses generate tangible returns. So does that depend on the size of the business, or you're saying just like every business is just that's what is like the definition of a business, that you're only bringing in 15% of returns? Because I imagine there's different businesses that perform remarkably different in terms of the returns. And that could also be a tax thing as well too, because there's different ways that you can move your money around in order to kind of avoid taxes or lessen your tax burden. But yeah. But yeah, so like those, I think we were saying like a bigger business as well too is gotten to the point where, yeah, they're not developing their product like a Dell as an example, but they're just kind of like in maintenance. But is that a recipe for disaster for a business? Wouldn't you say a business should always be looking for a way to be able to grow and to expand on their business and not just be complacent into what they're doing? The key example of that would be look at Kodak. Kodak was complacent. They had the market covered and they're like, hey, you know what? We're going to be in maintenance mode. We're just going to kind of coast. Look where they are now. The digital camera came along and just killed their whole business. Same thing for Blockbuster Video. Blockbuster Video, they had the Netflix guys come into their office and talk about what they wanted to do and see if there was a way that they could partner within Blockbusters. And Blockbuster laughed them out of the boardroom. Look where they are 10 years later. Blockbuster is like all bankrupt, right? So you can have businesses just because you're at this specific stage. I mean, this is more of a philosophical thing, I guess. Just don't go into this mode of like, hey, we don't have to develop anymore. We don't have to do any research. We don't have to keep trying to be better. Because if you are just going to be like, hey, we're just going to keep making our money and then that's that, the competition they're going to smoke you. And then another thing would be looking at BlackBerry or look at RIM. RIM was huge in Waterloo, and I was in Waterloo at the time that BlackBerry was launched, and like it was huge. BlackBerry was everything. The whole city, BlackBerry this and that, or RIM, I guess at the day, they were huge. And thought they were the king shits of the world. Like everyone has our phones, no one's going to touch us. And then some asshole named Steve Jobs comes along with his little touch phone. And then 5 years later, BlackBerry is nothing, right? So anyways, I guess all I'm saying is that if a business is just going to get complacent and just say that, we're just in maintenance mode, you're going to have some troubles. And the competition is going to, like, you got to innovate. You have to constantly be innovating. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. I'm not saying it's going to happen for everybody, but you just want to be careful to not be complacent. In your experience, what are the total expenses it generates income? Yeah, no, that's fair. So Blockbuster went bankrupt because its streaming platform didn't work. It literally didn't work. The networks went down and they were never able to fix it. So I think I heard about that too. They tried to come up with their own thing, but then that failed too. But I would imagine, this could be hindsight 2020, if Blockbuster did, even if they did launch their streaming service, I still believe that Netflix would have taken them out because they were just, again, I think maybe that's the thing. It's like you have these big businesses and they become these big kind of Titanics, and it takes them forever to try to steer the ship if they see an iceberg. Whereas a small, nimble company could just steer the ship super fast. And it just happens, Look at MySpace. Look at all these things. I mean, companies come and go. It's like any species on the planet, like 99% have been extinct. It's just the way that it happens. In the case of BlackBerry, it was due to the 2 hacks they had in less than 6 months and the exit investors. That's just one thing, right? I could say there's never one single thing, but I could tell you with BlackBerry, it's way more than that. Like I had a lot of friends that worked there, a lot of people that invested in the company, a lot of professors are there. I know a little bit about BlackBerry, and it wasn't just, you can't just say one thing. They're like, I guess maybe this is opinion, sure, which could be opinion, but the lack of innovation from the company, and they got complacent in what it is that they were doing, and they didn't innovate. But again, I could be wrong. I mean, that's my opinion, but just knowing from the people that worked there, and that I work with those people, and the stuff that they were telling me that was being said and discussed in like the company about like, oh yeah, we're number one and we don't need to do this, we don't do that. These other guys are garbage, and just kind of shitting on the competition. I'm like, that's not good work culture. You're not going to get too far with that. But yeah, getting hacked doesn't help. And that was the thing too with BlackBerry. The whole thing was how secure that they were, right? And having that secure network. So Netflix is still not making money, as is Spotify. Yeah, I'm not sure how much Spotify is doing. Yeah, they're not making money, but I mean, they're in business where Blockbuster isn't. You know, I'm not, I guess my point, I'm not trying to compare whether companies are good or bad or say this is, that wasn't my point here. And the Netflix, whatever, I don't know much about their business stuff. I guess my point being was just that, you know, there's new guys that are coming up and you want to make sure that you're not, you know, just stagnant or whatever. But again, if we ever get to that point, once Pixel Pieces or Pixel whatever, we get to the point where this multi-billion-dollar company and we have total market share where we make 50% of the world's websites. And then if we become complacent, then we can talk about what we're going to do as a company to make sure that we don't go obsolete. So once we get there, we can we can figure that out. So can you tell me when the last innovation of the richest company in the world was? Yeah, listen, I agree, because that's what I was saying. When you get to a certain big point, it's super hard to change the ship. It's like you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to develop this because you're known for that. So I agree. You can't just, you know, it's just very difficult. And maybe that's just like the nature. It's like the economy, you know, it goes up, goes down, it goes cycles because we have credit, and that's just the way that the economy works. We're going to have cycles. Just like businesses, it's like they get big, they have to just maintain the products that they have, and then it's difficult to innovate. So I definitely agree with you. But I'm just saying, like, there's I don't know, just for company, like some people do. Like look at IBM, they've been around for forever. So, but a lot of the stuff they do is maintenance, and I've worked closely with IBM, and the stuff that they do was not very innovative, but they still move the needle in certain ways. So yeah. But there's a great book. I don't know which one it is, but Simon Sinek. I think he talks about. I don't know if it's his what is it? Something about why, like Find Your Why. What the hell is this book called? He's got lots of different books, or maybe it's the Leaders Eat Last or something. Anyways, he talks about businesses and finding their why or something like that, and just talking about big businesses, and some of them that fail are definitely because of the lack of innovation or the lack of knowing what is they're going to do, and then the new guy kind of comes along and takes their place, and yeah, I don't know. Not all companies are going to be susceptible to that. That's for sure. But yeah, anyways, back to Netflix. I think Netflix is, but Spotify is not. Like Netflix is making money. Spotify has to pay so much to the big three. So Netflix is having the same problem, paying too much in royalties. Yeah, so I don't know anything about Netflix and Spotify in terms of what their financials are. I don't know, but there's two companies that I don't think I would invest in unless I'm investing in the S&P 500. So there'll be a piece of that in there, I guess, because I'm sure they're in there. But yeah, I don't know. If your company becomes a $10 billion company, are you going to make your own programming language or pay people to make one? Nope. I would probably never do that. That is not of no interest to me whatsoever. So I would never do that. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. Apple is the richest company in the world by far, and they haven't had a single innovation product in 20 years. Yeah, at that point. But okay, well, I'll ask you a question. Do you think they were, when they were younger, do you think they were very innovative? And did they innovate? Did they innovate with the invention of the iPhone? Did they innovate when they had maybe not so much the iPad, right? Or with their Mac computers or with their operating system? Did they innovate back in the 70s and 80s or whenever it was when they first developed the personal home computer? Like I would say that was very innovative and that really moved everything forward. And they just refined the product to make it super, super good. And then people are so loyal to it with the branding and marketing, like you're saying, that people are just going to continue buying it. But that's another question about Apple people buying their products and being fanboys of things that maybe aren't the best product. Because like you're saying, they're not innovating in the past 20 years. Not the greatest. What's up? I got 5 minutes. Okay, well we got we got 5 minutes. yeah, but I guess, yeah. So I think Apple got to where they were because they were innovative and because they moved the needle. But yeah, they're not so much anymore, for sure. So you don't think the iPhone was innovative? There was already the Palm and the iPad. Just this I bought because I still didn't see any real use for it. So like when the phone, okay, well, like I disagree. So I don't think we're just gonna not agree on that one. Sure, of course there was other devices. That touchscreen was already invented before the first iPhone. I guess the one with the touchscreen and whatever, because that was the first successful consumer grade like touch device or whatever the case may be. So I think that was highly innovative. Whether they were the first or not, I don't think that really matters, because if that was the case, like, what was the whole thing? What's the whole quote with the Ford or whatever? If Henry Ford would have listened to everyone else, they would have developed faster horses instead of trying to develop a car. So I don't know. Like I hear what you're saying. I just think, I don't know. I don't even know. I think we're pretty close. I just maybe don't agree so much with the terminologies of certain things or what have you. But I definitely see your point. Super valid points. But yeah, I can't say that Apple has never innovated on anything, because you don't become the world's most profitable company without innovating. Like you won't do that. But then yeah, once they're there, they don't. Yeah. So I am an Apple fan. I have everything from Apple except the Apple Vision, and I tell you, they have not had anything innovative, just simpler to use and integrate between devices. Okay, so, but again, I guess, like, that's, I don't know. I hear you. I agree. Listen, I know that you believe that, and that's totally fair, totally justified. But again, I think, like, what do you say? It's like the only person that has innovated in the whole space of computers is the person that made the first ever computer, and then that was it. So everybody that iterated on a computer, they didn't innovate. Like, I guess I'm not gonna follow that logic through, right? In terms of people can iterate over something and they can innovate by making that thing better or making substantial leaps better in certain areas. When all of a sudden it goes from this type of computer to like a quantum computer, as an example. Maybe a little bad example, but there's some leaps as well. And I'll say like a specific leap. I'm like, that's a nice innovation. So maybe the first computer is the innovation, then that's it. There hasn't been any innovations, but I disagree, because I think of the stuff that we have now to the stuff that we had back in the 70s when computers were first being built or whatever. I think there's been tons of innovation. But I do agree with you in, like, right now, in the past however many years, Apple hasn't done as much innovating, because the iPhone 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, it's just like incremental improvements, and there hasn't been anything that's been like mind-blowing innovative. I'll agree with that one 100%. But when I see certain things, like the handheld phone first coming into play for everybody, that was like an innovative technology, or just phones in general. Like, I guess there's things like that. And I think there's certain companies that have done things to innovate in that space. So, in processors, there have been innovations. Apple M1 is a glory. There's nothing compared at that cost. Well, so then they do innovate then. So they have innovated, right? So, I don't know. Anyways, I think we're splitting hairs here. But yeah, so like I own nothing of Apple, and I still, even though I don't like them, I still know that they make good products. Yeah. Anyways, forgetting about the fact of how they go about making those products, but I think a lot of companies have that kind of issues. I feel like if you're talking about bigger companies that are like innovating now, I feel like maybe like SpaceX is doing some really great, like, innovative stuff. Like that whole rocket catching thing that happened not too long ago. Like the engineering that would have to go into building something like that, to me, that's pretty crazy. That's crazy. So I'm going to 100% agree with you on this one. Yeah, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Just make it attractive. Or just figure out how to make it like better and smoother, right? Or whatever the case may be. So yeah, 100%. yeah, just like with web design, right? We're trying to make a web design company. We're not trying to reinvent how to build websites or write a new programming language to, to make stuff, right? It's just figuring out how we can do it better, market ourselves better, or whatever the case may be, right? So that we can get more of a handle on the target market. So I use an iPad and have only used Apple computers. Well, I feel sorry for you, Leo. You haven't experienced what a real computer could be like, but that's okay. That's okay. We all have our flaws, and we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I'll poke fun of Apple whenever I can. Apple is great. Yeah, they are great. Listen, I love spending more money on things than I have to. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. Oh man. Man, oh man. Why spend $1,000 on a computer when you could spend $2,000 on a computer and be locked into that ecosystem? It's perfect. It makes perfect sense. Oh man, I have a MacBook Air. Yeah. No, listen, they have good products. I just tease because it's funny. Rolando, I'm 44 years old and I have been using Apple computers since 2006. Yep. Yeah. So you're locked in. So they don't even have to do any innovation. They can probably, it's like one of those things where they can stick, maybe not you specifically, but they can stick 2012 hardware into the iPhone 17 and be like, here's our new phone. And people be like, I have to have it just because it's the next one and it's just what Apple is releasing. So they have that kind of loyalty, which is incredible. It is so amazing because they could literally release a piece of garbage, like a piece of crap, like literally, and be like, this is Apple stuff. And people will go out and buy it because it's the next one. And it's like, I have to have it. And I think, sorry, Leo, you said something too here. I missed this. Like Apple Vision. I've just seen that. It looks ridiculous to me. I hated the whole Meta stuff. That whole thing to me, wearing that stuff, I don't like that. And I hope the future doesn't go in that direction because I don't want to live in a virtual world. I want to live in the real world. But, to me, it's ridiculous. I don't know why anybody would want it. But I could see it being like that movie Ready Player One, where there's some type of really cool Oasis kind of thing going on. So that would be kind of cool too. So I don't know. Who knows? Who knows where that technology is going to go? But we'll see. Anyways, I do need to run, so we didn't get to talk too much about what we're going to do for our business. But we'll keep thinking about this over the night, and then maybe we'll discuss again tomorrow to see kind of where we're going to go. The market isn't ready to drop $3,000 on goggles, hence why they discontinued production. There's a lot of stuff that people have tried. Even Google Glass tried way back in the day. I think it's like the wearing the device stuff that's so in your face like that. I think that's going to be a really hard sell. If it gets to the point where you can just put in a contact lens and then you could see through a computer through your contact lens, I think that would be probably one of the things that might work. So yeah, no product fails from Apple. Just no one paid much attention to them. Yeah, I guess if they had other products that have failed is what I think is what you're saying. Yeah. Lots of companies tried it just too early. Yeah. So something in the eye, I think would be the best thing. And then maybe Elon Musk will come up with like the Neuralink / something in your eye so that you can think about things and then it'll just show up on your virtual screen that's in your eye. That's where I kind of see the future going at those, 30, 40 years from now when we're actually augmenting our biological processes with actual technology. I think that's going to be where the humans are going to be heading at, but that's a whole nother different story. Let's continue the discussion on Discord. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been the greatest on keeping it open, but absolutely, if there's anything you want to say, just throw it on there and we can just have chats when we're working or what have you. So absolutely. That's a fantastic idea. Thanks, Rolando. Apple Vision is amazing, and I agree that it doesn't look good, but the experience is the great part about it. Cool. Never tried it, and I don't know if I ever will, but hey, if you like it, then fantastic. we're still too far from that era. The way that technology is going, man, I don't know. Like in 30, 40 years, I feel like I can see it, when I'm older. Like I would never do it because I'll be an old grumpy man and be like, get the hell out of here with this stupid biotech stuff. But we'll get there at some point. Yeah, but who knows when? Yeah, that I don't know. Who knows? But 30 years in text time, yeah, maybe it'll be longer. I don't know. I have no idea. But we'll see. Yeah, maybe it could be like 50, 60 years. Who knows? Who knows? Definitely in 100 years. Oh, man. I can't even imagine what the world's going to be like in 100 years. It's crazy. That's crazy. Like 100 years? That's insane. Anyways, we'll talk about the future in the future, like tomorrow. Yeah, 3K, too much. All right, guys. I do need to run. I don't have Apple Vision, but from what I see in the internet, just from what you've seen. Okay, your opinion. Yep, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, it's expensive. That's for sure. All right, guys, that's it for me. I do need to run. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you for the discussions and the conversation. Very much appreciated. As always, a blast. Always love chatting with you guys. I usually never ask this. Maybe I need to get into the habit of this. On your way out too, if you want to click that like, what is it? The like or the thumbs up, whatever. Yeah, the thumbs up or like, that would be amazing on the way out. As for me, I'm out of here. Yeah, so bye. Imagine that in 100 years, there are no more humans. Well, that wouldn't be amazing. Yeah, that'd be pretty bad. That's for sure. All right, guys. That is it for me. I do need to go or I'm going to get in trouble. I won't get smacked like Rolando, but, he didn't get smacked. He avoided it, but I want to avoid getting smacked as well, too. So I'm going to say goodnight. And as always, I'll be back here again tomorrow for a brand new stream. Until then, have a great rest of your evening and we'll see you tomorrow.